we're back. Midjourney Fast Hours Podcast, episode 52. Rory, Flynn, Drew Brucker. We're going to do a little bit of Midjourney focused features currently available, coming down the pipeline, cover office hours notes. Then we're going to get into all of the sort of like latest happenings across the board, because there's a lot going on right now. A lot of stuff.
So much, man. It's just like it's like I feel like it, just taking grenades from every angle.
Taking grenades.
Just in the trenches,
I feel that.
Like,
I feel that one in my bones a little bit.
It's just like in our role, of course, which is us trying to stay on top of everything and deliver news, but also then figure out ways to use this stuff, not just for us, but for the clients that we have. It's just like every time you get good at something, it's just like bang, something new. It's like, now I gotta figure that one out, and it's all good now. It's not like just like random stuff, like when 2 years ago, right? It was like, this tool might be something.
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing. We're at least that far now that these bigger brands and more brands are getting into the fold, because it's a little bit less painful and a little bit easier. It's still not easy than it would have been 6-12 months ago. At least you're right. You're right. I mean, the quality across the board's got much better. We've also, Sora 2 we talked about last time. We're going to talk about VO 3.1 a little bit today too, later in the episode. But like, those are how fast these advancements are coming. And then there's still 2 more months in the year that I think plenty is going to happen between now and then. And then what the hell is 2026, bro? I mean, I remember when we were doing this stuff, we were talking about this stuff in 23, and we were already kind of thinking about it. And it's funny how many things we got right, and it's funny how many things we didn't see coming, and it's just kind of been this wild ride. But
we should definitely do that at the end of the year. It's like, go back to what we were talking about in the beginning of the year and thinking like, all right, this is what's going to happen, or like, we're thinking about this. And
we need a producer to fact check us, like historically. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? And we
got a lot right. We definitely got a lot right.
We actually did get a lot right,
yeah.
Which is actually very surprising, just because this is like very intuitive, I think, in terms of like what we're thinking could happen and things that could make sense. But it's also very novel and never been done before. So like the predictability in that alone is very hard. And so I've kind of been surprised by some of the things. And I don't know, man. I'm super just excited about the possibilities going into 2026. And, maybe we start with Midjourney trying to push V8, before the end of the year, which would be great to get before the end of the year. I don't know whether that happens or not, but it did sound like that's their core focus. It's been sounding like that's their core focus. And then they're also kind of... seems like 7.1 is just kind of like this flatline thing where they're just like, hey, if we do it, we do it. We get it out there, but don't expect anything other than maybe better prompt accuracy at this point is what they're saying.
Interesting. I popped onto office hours for maybe like 20 minutes during it, because in between calls and whatever other life we have going on. And it was... I heard David say something along the lines of, maybe I'm misquoting him, but he just was like, the V7 training data was trash. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then it was like, so what does the V8 training data look like? Because, you do notice it. It's so weird now. I don't know if you noticed this, but when I'm in there, I either get something that's an absolute banger, or I'm like, what the hell is this? It feels very inconsistent at the current moment with all the different options, the style references, the style codes, the personalization. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just like, when I just want something that is exactly what I want, a lot of times the hit rate isn't as high as I feel like it used to be. But that's probably just me and the way that I'm using my personalization codes and things like that. But
no, but I think that's a valid point. Now that we've gotten more of these tools that become part of the workflow, and the quality of those tools has gotten better, and the capabilities of those tools have gotten better. Midjourney has now sort of like been just a piece of the process versus the majority of the process, which I think historically has been the case. Now, I'm not saying that's a global, universal thing that I'm saying here, because it depends on what your use cases are. But I think maybe in terms of like what me and you are doing, and probably some, most of the people listening to this, like Midjourney's got like its place now in the workflow or the process, but it's not the majority or all of the process in a lot of ways, whereas maybe historically it was.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, then it becomes like you almost want something that can be a little bit more predictable and consistent in some use cases. Is that kind of what we're saying?
Yeah, like they mentioned a few things on there. We'll probably get into it, but it's like, look, I like Nano Banana. I use it every day.
Same, dude. It's just that capability is great. Yeah,
I would stay on Midjourney all the time if it could just
Same.
take this thing and just maneuver it. But it's like I hate to be the guy now. Now that I know that I don't have to use OREF and and like and like play with the weights and use the EXP parameter.
Bro, nobody was bigger on that than you. And so, because
it's just
that's kind of where
easy now.
Yep.
It's like
just natural language to change, add, subtract.
Yeah.
So that capability has been huge. I agree, man. I think that's a really good point is where's Midjourney's lane in that capability? Because I think at some point it has to come. Is it going to be in a similar lane than we've seen right now with something like Nano Banana, where it's just simple language? Like you don't have to be great at prompting to use Nano Banana well, right?
No.
I mean, it's just straightforward vernacular. I mean, you're just like, hey, look, swap this, keep this the same. So I wonder about that. I think that's a really good point. The other thing, that was kind of catching my attention on office hours while I was there too, just part of it, was they're redoing the personalization. They're going to update it again, which I think is great.
Should be.
And of course, the exciting part about that I heard on that was, hey, if you've got sort of like this warm or this cool, hue to your images and blah, 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 this is going to solve that. And it's like, yes, please. Yes.
Pink and blue hue to your images.
I mean, I've been rolling with S100 since the personalization because I want enough of it. And then again, anything above that, it's just like, it's too blue, right? It's just too blue, too pink. And I think that's going to be interesting to see how they go about that level of personalization, what that looks like. That'll help for sure. But the excitement behind V8 is ultimately what has me hyped, just because I haven't heard this level of excitement since 6.
Yeah, David sounded pretty chipper on the call. I don't know if
chipper. Chipper.
There's sometimes he comes on there and he's like, it seems like he's like morose and like sort of like, yeah, like we'll get things done, And then this time he's just like happy and excited, and I'm like, all right, maybe things are moving in the right direction over there, and they're feeling good about where stuff is. But when they say it's targeted for the end of the year, we'll see. We know how V7.
We know how that works.
I don't want to be let down again.
What travel plans you got for the end of the year? Because you could start kind of working backwards from there. But
very true. Very true. I would, I feel like we saw, I remember 2 years ago, specifically, because I had a conference when I was doing the speaking engagement in Bangkok. That was 23 December. And I think it was like the first week of December. And I was like, yeah. And I remember saying, like, everything I tell you here right now, probably going to be different in 2 weeks. And they dropped it like the day after I got off stage. So it was like, if we're following a similar pattern here, it seems like that would probably be in that range. They might want to get it out before the holidays. They might just push it to the end. But I would like it this year.
Yeah.
I definitely like it.
Yeah, same, man. I'm really curious to see what that looks like. And then also, they're kind of waiting for V8 to then go to that next sort of video model too. So I think those things are interconnected. There's also sort of the Style Finder, Style Creator tool. So Style Finder, performing well, helps users quickly locate desired aesthetics. Likely to release sooner than Creator, while Creator may be postponed as a next-gen feature. Both features closely tied to personalization and user profile rollouts. So Style Finder, this sounds like, I thought this was already what they were calling what was launched, but I guess that's Style Explorer. Style Finder, though, what is the iteration of that, right? Because you can go in here and, you know, we can
Basically
type
do
colors
anything.
now, right? I mean, we can type
Yeah.
colors, we can type styles here, and of course, like there we go, you know, red illustration, you know. So there's some level of control you have now, but what is the ultimate, you know, sort of status, I guess, of what that looks like? I'm not really sure what else they're trying to do with that, unless they, I don't know, almost break it out like you would like these third-party curated style libraries, where it's just like maybe you have folders or I don't know. I have no idea. But
Yeah, I would just say if I had a recommendation, just keep it simple. Like right now, to me, it's like simple.
to me,
It
it's
doesn't need to be
perfect. I don't
doesn't need to
need.
be anymore.
I mean,
Maybe there's an explore page similar to what you just flip the from like, the same way it is images, videos, maybe it's styles, like in that same sort of feed type. Is it like that? Can you filter on the top day? Can you just filter styles?
yeah,
All right.
you could do
Yeah, I
like
mean, there you
top
go.
week, and I mean, so like this is what I'm saying though. Like we're already saying
What
that
is it?
this is kind of already here. I mean, they've
Yeah.
been talking about adding more and more styles, which is great. So you know, you're not going to run out there. That means they've got billions of styles. And then we've talked about the smart sort of search feature you can incorporate. I just showed you the search, you know, through Word feature that you can do for style. So I wonder what else is left.
When you go to likes on here on the explore page, can you filter it just by
Styles?
style, or
Yeah,
is that?
yeah.
Oh, you can. All right, cool. I haven't even looked
So
at
I
that yet.
mean, you've got that. I mean, that's what I'm saying is I don't really know what else you'd need.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
Style
again,
blends. I mean, style blends are unique, but
there's to me, it's like I said, I don't really know. Is it just adding more? Is it? It seems pretty awesome.
like
It is right now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, I don't know that I would, if it were up to me, and again, I don't have all the context here behind what they're doing, but to me, this would be like something I feel like I would move on from for right now. I mean, it's probably got what you need. I think this part of it is interesting if people want to create styles, right? Because I think people do, you know, the style codes are cool, but at the same time, they are pre-generated styles. There's nothing necessarily unique about them. Like you can't create them from scratch. So I think that component is interesting. The style blend thing's interesting. But yeah, and then also there's this user profiles rollout. You know, what does that look like? And I think we've kind of talked about that. Is this more, you know, discoverability across other creators and sort of like a little bit of a social media component or community, you know, kind of experience? But
What would you want from that to use it?
user profiles. That's a great question. What would I want
Yeah.
from that?
Because there's a few things. Like there was one thing with if there's going to be like a home feed or something like that for people you follow. Like I don't know how it's going to look, but like what I really like on Sora's.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
Because it's Sora's thing. The one thing that I do like is like seeing when there's like the trending video and they sort of have the remix threads where it's like, oh, this was the original video, and then it's like you just keep swiping and like here's what people did with it. Like, you know, like if you saw an image, right, and then you use that image as a style reference, then seeing what you came up with, right, or something like that, or using the image as an image reference. Like I sort of like that trail of seeing the evolution of things that's in there. Like that's a cool one to me. It feels like sort of like blockchainy kind of situation. But profiles, right? Like I feel like I don't know.
I mean, the last thing I would want, I think, is even though I love Midjourney, is the last thing I would want is another social media channel to manage. And I don't know what their appetite is for that currently, but in the past, right, David's pretty much said like we're not going to do anything that feels like a social media thing. So, yeah, that's a great question that you asked though. Like, what would you want? And maybe that's a good thing that we ask the listeners too, because I don't really know. I think to your point, it could be interesting to see, what's Rory creating and other people that I follow. But outside of that, what is the real value there? Not sure.
It's like I remember us talking about it a while back and being like, it'd be cool. But then I'm like, what did we actually want?
I can't remember either. I
do like the idea of being able to like search for people. Like that would be one thing instead of being like going to the explore page and finding the username and clicking on the username and finding like 8 images. It would be cool to see what other people are doing at all times, like to know like or follow them or whatnot and just see what they're posting. I don't need much from it. Like if I was just like I wanted to go see what Drew was doing, outside of what I see you post on social, right? Because I think that's
maybe common tokens that they use. Like maybe there are certain things like that could be interesting.
Most used style code,
most common settings. I don't know.
Because I would like to see the one thing that this would solve for is that like group of images that never sees the light of day.
Yes,
if you like that, you're not posting on LinkedIn,
okay.
Right?
This is perfect. This is perfect. I think this is something that we haven't really talked deeply about before, but I think this is a common problem. We've all created so many damn images on this tool.
Yeah.
And less than 1% ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're not valuable. Like I almost sometimes want to be like, somebody wants to see some of my work, and I'm like, I have a hard time picking out 10 things versus like, let me just give you like a preview of, I don't know, my organized folder of things I've upscaled so you can kind of get an idea and diverse taste of things that I've created, right? Because right now there is no value marker for all the things that you've created, but you just haven't shared. And I think there is something there that can be explored. Like how can you make images in general feel more valuable, maybe repurposable and seen outside of just your organized folder, inside of your own instance, right?
Yeah, because that's how I feel. Like half the stuff I want to post on X or LinkedIn or whatever, it like doesn't feel like necessary. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like I'm posting to post. Then it's just like, I liked this.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And there is a part of that that's great, right? We also know though that like there are some people that do that and get good engagement, but it's just. We always like to share something if it's got some value to it, versus like, here's what I did.
Yeah.
But
this might be the here's what I did feed. Like
I think we need a here's what I did solve. Like there needs to be something there, because otherwise what's happening with 99.99% of images that are getting created on this tool, just like they cost money to generate and then they just hold no value after that.
How many times do you go back and you're like looking for something specific, and then you scroll by like 30 images? You're like, when did I do that? And it's like, yo, these are good.
You know what happens to me when I look back at my folder? I look back and it instantly, when the date's there, it takes me back. It's like a time machine. It's like, oh, what did I have going on in my life at that moment? I'm able to like instantly capture what was happening. And it's the weirdest thing, right? Because if it's tied into a project or if it's tied into a certain maybe post that you're doing for social media, like you can almost take you back and just like, oh shit, yeah, like in April, I remember I was doing this and blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of cool in that regard too, just to like historically annotate the journey.
Yeah. That's maybe this all can be part of it. I think it is, as much as they're calling them personal profiles. Like, is it for me? Is it to share? Like, I don't know. That's why it's interesting, which I think it's probably good to get like a lot of the weird stuff that I want like in there, because I think we're all doing something. If you're posting it on social media, majority of the people aren't just posting it because they like it. There are people that are posting it because they know it'll do well. Like there's a difference in that, especially if you've been on social for a while. You know what's going to do well versus what you actually really like. My fringe really like cases are going to get zero views.
Yeah.
My P code with the with the goats and the homesteaders, that's not going to get a ton of views. But some of them I like because they're a little bit creepy and crazy. But I think a space like that just might be nice. And I'll probably have like thousands of images that'll just get dumped in there. Who knows? But I'd like to be able to go find Drew's.
We need more information on this.
Yeah.
And I think this is, I love that we brought this up, this point about just your archive of images. What's the value? How can we extract more value? Like I would, if Midjourney is listening to this, I think you got something there. I would put some creative minds in a room and think about how you can extend the life or even breathe life into images that are otherwise just collecting dust. And is that something that can be used to increase time on the site, or is there some sort of community-driven aspect of that, like repurposing, remixing? I don't know what it is, but there's something.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be more inclined if I could just like, just like hit the button and it goes to the profile and like done. That's like, oh, I like that one, bang, done.
Yeah.
Keep going. So it's like again, then people probably, you know, it's weird. Like, it's like you kind of want to have like friends or like followers, things like that. Like, I don't know if I necessarily like the followers as much as I like the friends, like almost like the old, like almost like the old Facebook days when it was just like that. If you're friends with someone, they can see your profile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need to play another social game.
You can't sit at this table.
Yeah.
But like, then again, no, but I think there is something even to that.
An interesting balance, right?
It's like,
then
everybody does followers though. Everybody does followers though. And yeah, okay, you could follow me, but I could follow you. Most of the time you don't get a follow for follow in some cases, right? I think the friend component is interesting.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be posting to get likes and visibility on there, which is my own personal opinion. I'd just rather like see what my friends are doing. Like, I don't need another one.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my God.
But then
discoverability. Right. We're either getting old or we're onto something. But I think it's maybe both.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of went through personalization already. I would say like maybe just wrapping this thing up, a couple quick things. So you've got community events. They started doing some things in San Francisco, sailboat, trying to get people together. If it goes well, they're going to maybe expand that to other cities, maybe even other countries. Cool. Midjourney TV. So they have a new sort of feature here where you can kind of create a video grid displaying real-time Midjourney TV content. You'll want to not have a crappy computer if you try to do that, I would imagine. So, make sure you have a processor that can handle that. Let's see. So that's just kind of pointing that out. Community engagement. So they're starting to do style rankings again. If you guys aren't sure about that, I would, you can get in Discord, get the link for that. And then, beyond secret projects, because nothing new's there. They are doing merchandising and swag, though, that they're going to, it sounds like it's getting pretty close. So that would be cool. I don't know what that looks like. Awesome. Be cool.
Will buy. Take my money, as usual. Thank you.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to buy Midjourney? Throw it on the table.
I mean,
do it.
It's not for the money, though. It's not about the money. It's just It's just merchandise.
Correct. For the fans.
Not profit driven. But they did say that about the year one book and they charged $80. I'm just saying. But I think like the merchandise and swag stuff would be cool. By the way, I feel like we gotta do something with merch.
Yeah.
And swag. I did get a nice little, sticker mule deal come my way.
Sticker mule? Is that just like a sticker company?
Yeah.
Sticker mule.
Yeah. I mean, like they do stickers. They do some other stuff too, like decals, keychains. They do magnets, stuff like that. But they, if you sign up for their thing, they do these like weekly deals. And every once in a while you'll find where you're like, oh, okay, I can get 50 stickers for like $15. Cool. Yeah. Done. So I got that today. I threw on the Midjourney Fast Hours clock guy as a sticker. And I just ordered that today. So we're gonna get some of those. I'm gonna send some your way. Also, if you want one of those, maybe just let us know. I'm not sure how we're gonna distribute them. I'm not trying to turn into the mailman over here, so I got to figure out the distribution of this. But we're long overdue. Like we got to start thinking about that too. I mean, we could do some cool shit with the merch.
Oh, 100%. Like there's so many. If I pull up one of these things that I did recently, I have to find it. Oh man, it was so dumb and so awesome at the same time. But it was I was doing not to get into sports, but I'm sure you're familiar with the Jackson Dart Cam Scattaboo show that's been going on for the Giants. If you've opened up social media and are a sports fan at all, they're psychos. So I made like a mock T-shirt, and it's like it was actually relatively easy with Nano and whatever. I'm like, we could do this. We could make it as
We could do
ridiculous
this.
as need be. So maybe T-shirts are in the future for everyone. We'll see. see what we can
Hoodie
get.
season. Hoodie season is here.
It is hoodie season. It is hoodie season, which I don't know if it's as cold by you as it is by me, but we dropped
Not
in
yet.
the 30s today. So
Wow. Okay. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. It's not like that here.
oh, it's bad. This is now like. Hold on, wait. Let's do this real quick. I'll show just this. Oh nope, that's not it. Never mind. We'll go back to regular scheduled programming. I was going to pull up the little Nano thing, but
I'm kind of disappointed now, to be honest.
there was I had so much fun with it. It's so dumb, and I'm just like enjoying the hell out of being.
You showed it to me. Yeah.
Did I?
That was cool. Yeah.
Where is it? I have so many. I have to go through like all of my Weavy sort of all my Weavy workflows and like there's so many here that just have like untitled. I'm like, what did I even do there? I don't know.
Oh, see, there's your problem. There's your problem.
Organization.
Well, let's get in. Maybe let's get into Midjourney. We've kind of covered that. Let's get into maybe some of the other updates happening.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We did cover Sora 2 quite a bit last time around. I think it just launched a day or two before we had talked about it. Right after we got done talking about it, they started to kind of like peel back. They started to really start to put all the IP stuff back in the box, right? I mean, you couldn't generate basically anything that could be considered IP after we got off. And I think it's remained that way. I haven't been in there the last few days, but that was sort of big. Any other like big takeaways from Sora 2 though, since we talked about that last time?
Yeah, there was some cool stuff. I think some of the IP stuff, I might have had a hand in that, getting the Japanese government to respond to them. My Super Mario video went like way more viral than I thought it would, and every time I opened a social media page, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, I'm seeing it. I'm like, damn it, this isn't what I wanted to happen. It's like one time I use IP, right, and it's like,
Dude,
it's like I never do that.
Okay,
like,
tell me if you feel the same way. But
Yeah.
I would rather posts not go super viral. Like I want them to do well,
yeah,
but there's like this threshold that exists
there
where when it goes truly viral, it then expands beyond people kind of like you and the lookalike audience and all that, and it starts to get into just like the average people that probably you don't align with, and that's when you start getting people that are nasty and they don't understand it, and there's polarization, there's controversy,
Death threats.
It's just like it just gets stupid, man. I mean, I do you feel the same way? I mean, like there's like a level where I want it to be, and then there's that level where you're just like, fuck, man. Like it's kind of annoying, It's really kind of annoying at that point.
I got death threats for a Super Mario video. Like, come on. Like, it's like I got not one, like multiple for that thing, and I'm like,
That's
are we
insane.
being
That's
real
insane.
here? Can we not just have a little bit of fun, everyone?
That's
like,
insane.
Lighten the fuck up. Sorry for my language. It's like not that serious. And I think everyone, you're throwing around like legit death threats because of an AI generated stupid video that has no purpose other than for social media entertainment.
Boom,
Like,
boom. Just drop it right there, because like that's the thing that I think people struggle with, is just like there are certain things like that where it's just like it's just cool that you have the ability to kind of do your own unique thing using that theme or that
Yeah.
that character or whatever it is, But outside of that, though, it's not like you're sitting here and you're trying to monetize the video. You're not trying to create a Mario Brother world outside of this. And, like, so let's take it for what it is. Like, it's just kind of like this opening a gift on Christmas kind of thing where you're just like, oh, this is cool. Like, let me see what this does.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Like, same with the Studio Ghibli stuff. Like, what happened after that? I mean, people
Nothing.
were pissed, and then now what? No one's talking about it. But you know why?
Gone.
Because it was just it was just like this moment, this micro moment in time. We're just like, oh, this is cool. Like, because unless you were an animator or somebody that's doing the drawings for Studio Ghibli or working there, you would not be able to create or have a hand in anything like that, right? It's just like this novelty of being able to do something you could never do before and show it. And that's what it is.
Just hop on a trend. That's all it is. Like all this stuff with the social media stuff, like, it's here one day, gone the next. Like the Studio Ghibli stuff lasted for a week. You haven't heard about it since then, right? Like it's just like everyone overreacts as if this is some like giant microcosm of society. And it's like, let's just get real. Like it's just the tool came out. Everyone wants to use it. They're testing the capabilities and then it's going to forget about it. And then VO3 releases and everyone goes back to doing the VO3 stuff. Like it's not life or death when it comes to this.
It
stuff.
really isn't.
Unfortunately, people feel like, the end of the world and the end of like I saw my aunt when I was recently she was talking about like the end of creativity and like no thought and like anything. And I did come up with you might like this one. This is a Midjourney Deep Hours conversation where I was
Give
like,
it to me.
I had a couple glasses of wine, so I was like real deep thinking at that point, and I was like, well, at this point, I think we've shifted from finding the right answer with critical thinking to finding the right question. It's like when everything can be answered and it has 100% accuracy, which majority of the times at some point it will.
I like that.
Then it doesn't matter how you get to the answer. It matters what you're asking, right? It's like what are we asking? Like, you have to actually think to ask good questions. You can't just you ever been in an interview like with a potential employer. And they're like, what questions do you have at the end? And you're kind of like, I don't know. I just want to get paid. But at the same time, you have to ask some good ones to like either seem like you were paying attention or like to really,
right.
Like, or you are naturally
Right.
curious and you want to know. The people that ask the better questions, that ends up having a lot better of a result, I think, most of the time. But
Yep.
I just feel like that's where we're heading. It's like who is asking the best questions, who's trying to problem solve, who's thinking of the craziest things. Can we do this? Can we not do this? Like, so I think that's sort of like the shift of where this is going from macro level, deep hours. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, right.
I like that. Yeah. I think that's a great point, man. I think that's a great point.
Questions are hard. You have to ask, you have to know what you're asking. Like, have you ever been on a sales call? Anyone here who's listening who's been in sales, right? When you started sales and you're just like reading the script and like, you don't know how to direct the conversation or ask the right questions to get to like the end result. Once you've done it for, a couple months, you're hitting like home runs with questions. It's like you know exactly what to ask to get the right response, to get the right information. And that's where the win is. It's not in reading the script, it's asking the right questions to get people to tell you stuff or to like reveal things about themselves or the business that they wouldn't readily admit. So
yes,
it's, there is a pristine art in asking questions, and I think in just like prompting.
Yep.
Essentially what it is. So,
Yep.
Rant over.
Rant over.
On that one.
Well, that's good. No, I mean, so Sora 2, yeah. I mean, and then you had VO3 drop, 3.1 drop. What? No later than a week later. Which we were thinking maybe there was 4, and then it was like right after we talked about it, it was like 3.1. Like not 4. And is this true? Is this just a rumor? Seems like Google's been pretty bad with keeping these rumors. I almost wonder if that's part of the strategy.
I think it is.
Yeah. So,
I think it is.
The 3.1 thing landed, which I don't know feels like a huge jump, but it is a jump, right? I mean, you've got certain things that this now brings to the table. I think it's, it's the longer piece of it, right? Like, I think you can create videos up to, is it a minute now?
Minute. You can extend up to a minute. It's very similar to what like a Midjourney version 5 to 5.1 would be, where it's not, they didn't, to my understanding.
Yeah, little tweaks, better editing, maybe
It's like feature editions.
Well, you did get the start and end, right?
Yes.
Frames, which is probably, I guess, the biggest piece of it.
The edit.
Because you had to go with
Yeah.
VO2 before that. So I think, you finally got that.
Which is nice. It makes it so much better. And then, really it's like not an aesthetic upgrade in terms of like what VO2 to VO3 was. It's more just like, I think it's built on the same architecture there, but it's like adding the different features to it where they're touting better sound.
It was like when you were in there before too, it was just like, it was just kind of a pain in the ass because you're like, like 16 by 9 versus 9:16. Or, you had to be doing, there were certain things that you had to do.
Yeah.
In 16:9 or 9:16, and they didn't have the same one had to, be switched over to a different model, or, you didn't have the ability to add the ingredients part. I think ingredients is part of it too right now where you've got that. And so it's like kind of everything now coming available to VO3 is probably really what this update is, in addition to the longer videos, right?
Yeah, so
sound a little bit maybe better, I've heard, but
they have VO4 ready, I'm sure. Like, it's just sitting there waiting for the next like.
When did we get 3? Do you remember?
3 was probably around like June or July-ish, I would say. It's just like
the cycles
for public
now.
Companies. Yeah. Public companies, you're going to get a big drop per quarter, like
per quarter now. Yeah, especially rolling in from a stock perspective.
Yeah, and investment and all the other stuff that goes on. Like you see, like we hit October 1. What is October 1? Beginning of Q4. We get Sora, and then we get VO 3.1, and then watch everyone else release their stuff that they're going to have. And then, January rolls around, you have some major drop. They'll do like little incremental releases up until the next quarter and then drop something big, right? So it's sort of, that seems to be the dev schedule. It probably could expand. It's going to speed up, but that seems to be like the play. Like I think it was March or April when we got like the original like Gemini, ChatGPT image, like those sort of like image editors. And then it was again in, I think it was either June or July also. No, July, around August maybe, I forgot. That we got the second round. So it's like you can see the consistent sort of dev schedule that it feels like they're pumping out. But
yeah,
I think this one's a good one. Google's just, again, they're just waiting. They have everything they ever need. Like I think the VO4 is probably going to be real awesome.
I mean, yeah.
But Sora's been interesting though. It's again added things that we didn't know we wanted. Like I didn't know I wanted like really awesome edited stuff that like writes script. But the one thing that still to me is like where Sora is head and toes or head and shoulders above. Everything else is humor. Like it's the first tool that understands like humor without me having to ask for it.
Yeah.
So
like,
timing, like some of the things that the scripting writes is actually
it's got some
really
creative.
smart.
Yeah, it's definitely got some creative. I don't want to say imagination, but it definitely has built-in imagination there. And I don't know if that's the right word, given that it's operating in some sort of algorithmic programmed function, but it feels that way. Yeah. Because to your point, you don't have to say a lot, and you could get something that is uniquely funny, right? It doesn't sound like a Chat GPT, one-liner, like straight out of the box. You can one-shot something that could be pretty funny.
It's good.
So I think that's a really good call out of something that is a novel thing that we haven't had yet, right? That is probably then now the norm in table stakes moving forward.
I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast or another one where it was like, what's the last frontier? And I was like, humor, because like nothing can do it yet. Like without me having to like direct every little piece of the humor, like it actually be funny. Like Minimax 1 had some like goofiness to it, which was funny. Like it understood a little bit of comedic timing, but Sora definitely gets that. And that's what brings the masses in, right? It's like fun, not like serious filmmaking. Like fun is what brings in more users. And then people get into serious filmmaking, right? So I think that's they did a good job. Like I think they did a great. Everyone's like, do you know their social platforms? Like I don't know, but I think it's funny to go on there and like just scroll through and just look at all the ridiculous stuff. Like it's hilarious knowing that it's all AI in one place. I don't have to think, is this real or is this not real? Like I know it's fake. I know someone came up with it.
You know what? Going back to that social thing, man, there's something, not to get too far off track, but I think of the last few new social tools that have come around, and I'm just not excited or have this long-term enthusiasm and attachment to stay on there. So, Threads, even TikTok, like this, like Sora, like I think the next big iteration of whatever social media channel or whatever that bubble, that category is going to have to be dynamically different. It's going to have to be uniquely different. And that was kind of just what brought me back to, you were talking about the friends thing versus follower. It's just like another thing where I got to build a follower count or do this to get people to see the stuff. It's just like, that doesn't feel like the future at this point.
Well, if you take the followers out of it, you take a lot of the business out of it, right? Like, to me, that's important, or that's just maybe like a thought I've had. If I didn't have to grow a following, then there's no way to sort of monetize a following, right? Like, if that's what you're monetizing is eyeballs, right? It's at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're just trying to move eyeballs from one place to the next. So, like, if you take the business out of it and you just have like friends, like it's like it's like trading phone numbers, like that's really, to me, more like personal and like less about like scale, which I think everyone's always trying to like immediately, how do we take this as marketers? How do we take this and bastardize the shit out of it? Which is kind of like what we do.
Yep.
But it would be nice because I don't want to have ads. I don't want to have like, I was saying this the other day, like I was saying this to Min, right? To our friend Min Do. There was like all these other tools that like charge these, these fees and whatnot. Nothing pisses me off more than like paying for YouTube Premium. Sorry, YouTube. Paying for YouTube Premium and then like, oh, you don't have to worry about the ads. And then everyone just natively builds the ads into their videos, so I still have to watch them. So it's like I'm paying, but then I'm still watching ads.
I didn't
right?
think
It's
about
like
that. Yeah.
we find a way to get stuff in there no matter what as marketers, and that one is so annoying to me. It's like, I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. I just want a space advertising free. That's it. Just don't want to be bombarded by it at all times.
Well, yeah. So I mean, VO 3.1. Maybe the other thing we should touch on too, as we kind of like wrap, is like getting into some of these other things that came through. There was Runway. This whole piece of it with apps. So they've got sort of like all these different breakdowns, apps. You could remove something from the video. You could reshoot the product. You can add dialogue. You can upscale video. You can change the image style. I think they had another batch too. Yeah. Change the weather, change the background, change the time of day, which I mean, I think these are all just, again, it's just like editing the video.
Yeah.
But still, very, very interesting. And
I think it's a nice touch for like, see, this is, I like when they do stuff like this because Runway always seems to be like the first one to sort of think about it a little bit, if that makes sense. Because like, yeah, you have a tool like a Lef. When it's unlimited, I don't know what to actually do with it. So break it out into little micro tools that now it's like, this is what you do with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes like these
they got to translate it from an engineer to a user.
Spoon feed. Like we just need some digestible things. So this to me is a great idea.
It's a great point, dude. It's a great point.
Yeah.
So you had that. There was also big thing with Reve, which I don't know that a lot of people heard about. And I honestly haven't been in there yet, but I've been meaning to. And which is like you can now do some other things in Reve. I think they're like calling this almost like a relaunch of the platform in some ways. But they're able, now you can do sort of like this edit any image kind of thing. So it kind of feels like maybe a little bit nano banana-ish in that sense too.
Yep.
And then you and I have both talked about Reve mostly offline. But I think we both agree that this, like Reve does have really good image quality baked into it. Probably one of the better ones, that are out there. And so this is maybe particularly interesting too for those of you that haven't been in there in a while. Maybe this is a great time to revisit the capabilities. This was the one I think that caught my eye, sort of like this reverse engine search. I think this is how I. Wait, is this the same Reve? That was like the moment that I had. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, the same Reve? Like you can just like we're reverse searching, images now for items of clothing that you could potentially buy or whatever. It kind of felt like a little bit of. I was like, oh snap! Like this is different.
That is cool. I didn't even think of that as like I didn't see that post, but that's a good one.
I thought that was
I like
interesting.
that a lot. That's
Yeah.
for anyone that's looking for like a Midjourney-esque solution too for, let's just say you're working in Weave or you're working in, a workflow building tool. Reve is probably the closest thing to a quality of Midjourney. It's not going to be like Flux where everything looks just awful in my opinion, but it's the closest thing you can get. Not on the breadth of style and like potential of Midjourney where you can go anywhere. Like if you're looking for like real photorealism, like real like quality aesthetic taste, Reve's a good one. It's also great with skin texture. That's another thing. Like if anyone's like looking for skin texture, that to me it nails it,
Good
especially
call
on
out.
close-up shots. So I'm a fan. I use it a lot. Like especially in Weavy, I use it almost exclusively for image gen because that or Higgsfield Soul is basically as good as it gets, in terms of creative capacity.
You heard about this one in beta, Photo Labs.
I've seen it pop up on my feed. Like I've seen people talking about it. And I have no idea.
So this is like an interesting thing, and I don't know if it's too early to say. Like, at least from my view, maybe it just requires some deeper thinking on it. And if this loads, that'd be great. But the way that I interpreted it was this can essentially restyle existing photos for better quality or storytelling purposes. Like it's almost like you could, like me and you could take a picture together. And then this can take that picture and just do some things with it, whether that's changing the camera angle or whatever, but staying very true and authentic to the original photo.
Oh, I love this.
And it's just like this little slice of a lane, which again, I can't tell yet how big this lane is, if it's a commodity or what. But it's just like, okay, so let me see if I can kind of just show you guys this. So let's see. Never miss a moment, blurred, chaotic, almost lost, bring it back with clarity, detail, touch of magic. So it's taking, it's almost like a photographer sort of tool versus like an AI tool. I mean, it does have AI power, components, obviously. But I think like this is going a little bit of a different direction. Right. So again, like here's the original, here's the after. It's almost like you maybe had a better photographer on hand to keep track of these memories. Maybe you got a picture of your kid, they got a booger on their face or something. I don't know. Maybe the light's harsh, right? Like you got this backlit thing, which just with these lights is terrible. And now you've got sort of like this low highlight thing that's interesting. Restyle with moods. I don't know. Like,
well, it looks interesting. It looks like a lot of the photos, like if you were going to take this image on your iPhone, and then let's just say instead you wanted to use like a more professional lens where you're maybe instead of like the iPhone, whatever the base one is, like you're using like you're pushing in closer up and using a lens for a wider field of view. So you have like that sort of, that really good, professional look with the bokeh added and probably adjusting the lighting, skin texture. Like the one I saw that was really cool in there was like the people in the dark environment and then it hit it with like the harsh flash, sort of like blown highlights type thing, which I was like, that's cool. Because this one, right, like or the one that it's about to come up the dog, right? It's the same thing, black and white. We're pushing in closer and we're probably opening up the field of view, right? Like that's like the one with the food, right? Pushing in closer up, field of view, adjusted lighting. Like that was the one dark one to like this direct flash, like sort of.
Like, this is cool. Funded too by, I think, A16, if I'm not mistaken. So, if this is interesting at all, they have a wait list. I joined it maybe a couple weeks back. I just got an email last night that they're rolling out an app for it.
Okay.
for like betas. So I would, if you're listening to this and it's interesting, go ahead and do this now. This would be a good time to do it. I don't know. Again, I don't know what this is yet, but it's interesting. It's a different take that I haven't seen yet. So, research and product company building personalized visual that brings your memories to life to be seen, felt, and shared. Again, like remember when we were talking about even last week, we were talking about different senses being involved in the future and new, future frontiers of this. Like, how can you start to bring in touch, and that tactile feel of what's happening around your smell, right? Like those are things that probably aren't going to happen relatively soon, but when they do, like those are game-changing things too. Could you see a world where something like this exists and then you're able to almost step into a memory? You can, like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Check out photalabs.com.
Think that's an appropriate way to cut this one off. Only because I got to run. I got to make another call here pretty soon, my dude. But this is I don't, that's a great, I just like that use case. Like that to me is like creative thinking, not just image generation. It's like, we haven't seen
anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like we've got the Laura models and stuff, but we haven't seen anything taking existing photos and really just kind of like reimagining them. And so, something to check out. We covered a lot. Midjourney, we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on what's happening with that. We'll keep you guys up to date on all the latest happenings too with these tools, because they are interconnected, right? Like these things, especially when you get outside of just personal fun and joy and like creative stuff, if you putting this into use cases, professional projects, etc., by now that Midjourney is a piece of the puzzle and not the whole puzzle, right? We've got all these different things. And so it's important for us to craft a narrative too, where you can experiment with this from, here are the tools that are working right now. Here are the things that you can combine that really kind of help you achieve what you're trying to achieve from an automation standpoint, an efficiency standpoint, et cetera. So anyway, we'll continue to bring you on that. Rory, good to see you, man. Stay out of trouble. Don't step on any nails.
I can't promise anything.
Just do your thing, man. Anything. Just do your thing.
But if you're still here, you know the deal. We got to start doing this in the beginning. Just like and damn subscribe. Do something. Like it. Comment on it. Send it to your mom. Send it to your friends. Dog.
Poke it with a stick.
Whatever.
Do
Poke
something.
It with a stick. Do something. Just something. If you're hanging out for 52 minutes, come on. And then,
this might be our first episode under an hour, by the way.
Yeah, it's only that's my fault because I gotta run. But it's also the same thing as everyone. Where we won't, if you're watching this on YouTube Premium, I won't add an ad into the middle of this episode, so you have to still listen to ads. Maybe sometime in the future, though.
We should think about that. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Later. See ya.